Hey there, in this video I'm going to cover how to fix the forward lean when you squat. So when you squat, you want to get those hips to move down and back like this. So it should look just like this here. What you don't want is to have those hips just mostly move back and have you lean forward like this. So we don't want to do this. So here I'm going to explain how to fix that. So the first thing you want to do here is foam roll the calves. So you take a foam roller here and then start here on the back of the knees and then go all the way to the ankles and then back to the back of the knees. And then if you are not feeling that much tightness here doing this, you can cross a leg over and then just do one at a time like this. And then you can also go from each side like this. So to the middle and then to the outside. And then so for whichever way you foam roll them, find the spot that's the most tight and then hold it there. Relax the muscle. Don't let it tense up. So now what you need to do here is foam roll the hip flexors. So how you do this is you want to take like the edge of the foam roller and then put it right here on the front of the hip. So what this will look like here is you just get that front of the hip there on the foam roller here and then just move it around a little bit. Find the spot that's the most tight, hold it there, relax the muscle, don't let it tense up. And then here's what it looked like from the other side. So remember, get that edge right on the front of the hip there. Like this. Find where it's the most tight and then hold it there. And then if you're not feeling a lot of tightness, you can try to get deeper in there with a baseball or lacrosse ball. So same thing here, get it on the front of the hip here. It can be a little bit to the side, but mostly on the front of the hip there. So what this will look like here is we take the baseball, get it on the front of the hip there, like this. Relax the muscle. So find the spot that's the most tight, and then relax the muscle, let it dig in there. It should feel a little uncomfortable, but not painful. So the next thing you want to do here is stretch the calves. So how you do this here is get that. You move the foot back here, keep the heel on the ground, and then move both those hips forward like this. So you should feel this stretch here in the calves. So what not to do here, do not let that heel come off like that. So keep that heel down on the ground like this. As you move both those hips forward, do not let that heel come off the ground. So the next thing you're going to do here is stretch the hip flexors. So for this stretch here, get on a knee like this, have something to hang on to. This is very important here, and move both of those hips forward. So just like this here, you should feel this stretch here in the front of the hip here. And then what not to do, not arch the back a ton. So make sure you get a lot of extension here in the hip, and the back stays up and straight like this. So do not lean forward here, and do not arch the back. So now the next thing you're going to do here is stretch the rectus abdominis. So how you do this here is you get, so first start off getting on all fours like this, and then extend the knees, let the hips drop, and then yeah, just hold it like this. So you should feel this stretch here in the stomach here. And you might feel some muscle contractions here in the erector spinae here. But you should feel a stretch here in the rectus abdominis. So now the next thing we need to do here is strengthen the anterior tibialis. So how you do that here is you need like a band or a cable. And then come back here like this. And then try to point the toes toward, almost like toward yourself. So don't let the toes point like that way ahead of you. Have them just try to flex those ankles as much as possible. So you should feel this here in the shins here, right there, and so you should feel a muscle contraction there. You might feel a stretch in the calves while doing this, and that's perfectly fine too. And then if you don't have like a band or cable, what you can do is just come to a wall like this, and then just flex the ankle up like that. So it just look like that. And then with this one here, you should feel this in the anterior tibialis right here. And you might feel a stretch in the calves there. That's okay too. And then another thing I'd recommend, just hold it up here as long as you can. One common mistake I see a lot with my clients here is they'll move the toes up, and then they'll come way down like this, so up and down. And we don't want that, because that'll cause you to feel a muscle contraction here in the calves. So the next thing you're going to do here is we need to strengthen the glutes here. So you don't want to just do any glute exercise here. You want to do one that'll allow that won't cause tons of extension here in the lumbar. So that's why we're choosing hip thrusters here. So what you do is you can take like a bench or something, or a stool. It could be something probably more comfortable than this, and then just rest the kind of rest that upper back here, and then stay on the heels here. Let the hips come down like this. Push those heels in. Keep those toes lifted off, and then extend the hips like this. Keep the stomach flat like this, and then move the hips down again. Push those heels in to extend the hips like this. So what not to do here is do not arch the back like this, okay? So just push those heels in here to extend the hips. Do not go on the toes like this. Do not turn the feet out like this. Do not move the knees in like this. Keep the knees and toes pointed straight ahead. Stay on the heels and make sure you're pushing in on the center of the heel. So not on the outside of the heels, not on the inside, but the center of the heels. So now the last thing we need to do here is strengthen the erector spinae here. So how you do this here is lay on your stomach like this, and then get the hands off, get as much of the chest and trunk off the ground as possible, and as much of the legs off the ground as possible. So it should look like this here. And then do not have the head like this. Do not have this arch here in the neck. Look straight down toward the ground, but try at the same time, try to get as much of the trunk off here as possible. And then another thing here, do not bend the knees like this. Just try it. If it's off the ground, that's good. That's what we want. We don't want the knees to bend. Try to get as much of the thighs here off as possible while keeping the knee straight. So it should look just like this. Okay, so just a quick recap of what we went through. You got to foam roll your calves here, foam roll your hip flexors, stretch your calves, stretch your hip flexors, stretch your rectus abdominis, and strengthen your anterior tibialis, strengthen your glutes with the hip thrusters, and strengthen your erector spinae. I know that it's a lot here, but if you are able to do all these in your workout, you should be able to fix that forward lean here pretty quickly. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you.